terrifying television show. I remember watching an episode about a woman who had a compulsive shopping disorder, and I remember them showing a tour of her house, and I saw from wall to wall, floor to ceiling, clothes were everywhere. Some of them were unworn and still had the tag on them. And I remember watching in horror and thinking, how can someone live like that? Out of my eye, I saw something big and red. That big and red thing was the suitcase that I brought for my 4-day trip home. So as much as I would have liked to say I was very different from this hoarder, she and I were more alike in ways than I wanted to admit. And watching that episode for me was like watching an episode of Scared Straight. I was so scared that I stopped shopping for an entire month. The mere thought of being a hoarder motivated me to become a minimalist. So why are we so fixated with clothes? Why is it such a big deal? There's some surface level reasons, like we like the security that comes with a full closet. And we like the status that comes with wearing the latest brands and keeping up with the designers. But on a deeper level, clothes remember, and they represent a narrative history of who we are, what we've done, and where we've been. It was around the time that the wedge heel sneaker became a thing that I realized that I could not. No, I would not keep up with the fashion trends. You see, with today's fashion, one day it's in and the next it's out, and you're left with a closet full of leather joggings and bubble skirts. I couldn't do it. So I realized that fashion can't be about trends. It has to be about something more. Ralph Lauren said it best when he said, fashion is not necessarily about labels, and it's not about brands. It has to be about something else. There were 2 women who inspired me to purge my closet and to discover what my personal style was. The first was Janelle Monáe. Not only did Janelle demonstrate that a well-cut suit could change your entire life, but she showed me the importance of crafting your own personal aesthetic. The second person was Sheena Mataken, the founder of the Uniform Project. Sheena wore the same little black dress for 365 days to raise money for children in India. And it was Sheena who introduced me to the philanthropic potential of fashion. So it's not about how many articles of clothing you have in your closet, and it's not about the brands. You see, our clothes are like memory keepers. And with every wrinkle, rip, and stain, they document our experience here in the world. My closet, when I wake up in the morning, I feel like I'm walking down memory lane. Everything in my closet is a collection of things from swaps, from thrift shops, and from hand-me-downs. In fact, my entire outfit today is made up of previously owned outfits and items. So as you can see, fashion and philanthropy and sustainability can go hand in hand. But when I used to think about it, I used to get overwhelmed at the gravity of the situation. But then one day I thought, I can't just sit around and mope, I have to actually do something about it. So I grabbed a few friends and we started throwing these things called clothes swaps. And I would ask everyone to bring about 4 or 5 articles of clothing and we would swap with each other. At the end, all the clothes that were left over were donated to women in the community who were in need. And with my events, I realized that I was encouraging my friends to swap more and shop less. And with every swap that they attended, they were reducing their carbon footprint, one swap at a time. My event was creating a culture of sustainable fashion in my community. So with my swaps, I realized that a lot of times we think about these societal issues as so big that we don't have the skills to address them. But I came up with 3 things to help us kind of minimize some of those things so that we can actually do something about them. The first is this: find the needs in your community that you can actually address. For me, I had to look in my own zip code because sometimes it's so easy to give to a charity that's so far away with people you will never meet. But for me, I had to look right here in my own zip code. And number 2, find a meaningful way to link your passion with your action. For me, hosting these closet swaps was my way of giving back to women in my community. And number three, find your impact. For me, meeting the women that I was giving to face made philanthropy all the more real to me. We don't have to be superheroes to change the world. All that we can do is to look at the issues in our corner and see how we are best positioned to tackle them. Inspiration can come from anywhere. I found my heart in a walk-in closet. Where will you find yours? Thank you.